Today, we're diving into modifying bass lures to hook more bass. From tweaking colors to enhancing action, we've got all the insider tips and tricks to help you reel in the big ones. The first modification that we're going to make is by adding blades to your soft plastic lures. I primarily use these blades in my stick baits and my Ned rigs. In dirty water, I'll add Colorado blades to add flash and vibration. When the water is clear and I'm looking for a minnow imitation, I'll use a willow leaf blade. These blades are super easy to add. You just simply screw them into the ends of your bait. You can also make your own underspins with blades as well. Take swim baits that are on jig heads and add a blade that is on an arm to add some more flash. The second modification is also for your soft plastics and will add more action to entice more strikes. Adding skirts to baits adds a secondary action that thrives, especially in cold, clear water. To get this skirt, you can either order a skirted nail weight and insert it in your stick bait when you're using the Neko rig. If you don't want to buy these nail weights, you can also add a skirt to your baits by splitting the tail. This method works best on Ned rig baits and stick baits. Simply take a pair of scissors and cut down the tail, usually 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches, depending on how big your bait is. You can cut these in half again and again to make a skirt. This skirt will flare out when it bounces and hits the bottom, creating more action. In the summer, one of my go-to lures for pond topping is a soft plastic craw. Many of these lures have flanges on the claws, making the claws kick. Other craws don't have these flanges and don't have a whole lot of action to them. A quick mod for these lures is to take a pen cap with a small hole in the top. With this, I'll punch a small hole in the edge of the claws. This gives the claws more movement and action. Now, some of these craws also have holes near the head. These holes are the perfect size to add rattle chambers. You can buy these individually and simply insert them in the hole. Sometimes they may fall out if you were to hit them on the side of a dock or other cover. So I'll add just a dab of super glue to help keep it in place. I don't have any scent gel, but if you were to have some, you could add these to these holes as well. Now, these craws are not the only lures that can be modified by adding rattles. Some jigs come with a black piece of rubber. This piece is called a skirt collar, and it is there so that you can add rattle chambers. You can slip them in and add extra noise to your jigs. If your jigs don't come with a skirt collar, you can buy them separately and attach them yourself by sliding them down the hook and locking it in behind the bait keeper. You can do this with lots of other baits like spinner baits, chatter baits, and even shaky heads. When I modify shaky heads, I slide the collar down the hook. Before it reaches the head, I'll add just a drop of super glue to the head and secure the collar in place. This modification helps add sound to the bait, but it also helps the plastics stand up, giving them a more defensive stance. The last modifications will look at modifying the colors and presentations of the lures. When I'm fishing clear water with crankbaits, I'll take the hooks and dip them into red metal dye. This can give the appearance of blood in clear water. In murky water, the red dye will make the hook invisible, as red is the first color to disappear in murky water. This dye also works for spinnerbait blades and chatterbait blades and gives a different look than what fish are used to seeing. During the spawn, bass lay eggs and guard them from bluegills. To make soft plastics more realistic to look like bluegills, I'll take a green pumpkin or watermelon red bait and a chartreuse dye marker. Take the marker and color up near the hook. I'll do this to Ned rigs and Neko rigs stick baits. Thank you so much for joining us in this week's video. Feel free to share your own modification success in the comments below. We'll catch you in the next one.